Okay, we'll do 4 examples. Here's our first one, and I already stacked them. I mean, they might be written sideways, but what you need to do is stack them. So we have a 3/8 and a 5/12, 5 and a 3. Well, the first step I have to do is find a common denominator. So let's see, 12 and 8, I'll just count by 12s. 12, 8 doesn't go into that. 24, 8 goes into 24, so that is my new common denominator. So on the top here, now I need to find the new numerator, this number up here. So let's see, 8 times 3, I want to put a little 3 there. 8 times 3 is 24. So I'm going to put that same 3 up on top. 3 times 3 is 9. That's how you find the numerators. I'll go do it again. 12 times something is 24. That would be 2. I'm going to put the same number up on top here. 5 times 2 is 10. So now I'm going to keep the same denominator. The denominator is 24. I'm keeping the same. See, they have the same denominator. Now I'm just going to add my numerators now because it's addition. 9 and 10. 9 and 10 is 19. And that cannot be reduced. So that's it. And then I have 5 and 3. 5 and 3 is 8. So 8 and 19 over 24. Here's our next problem. This time it's a subtraction. That's 4 and 2/3 minus 1 and 1/2. Our first step is to find common denominator. Let's see, I start with the biggest number, 3. There's 3, there's 6. 2 will go into 6, so 6 is it. Next, find my numerators. These numbers here, find those. So it's 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm going to put that number right above here. There's 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, on the bottom here, 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm going to put a 3 up here. The same. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, I'm keeping my denominators the same. It's a 6. And I'm subtracting these. 4 minus 3 is 1. So this is 1/6. And then if I look over here, 4 minus 1, that's 3. I don't know why I circled that. It's 3 and 1/6. Okay, here's our next problem, our third problem. We have one more after this. Hey, this looks pretty easy because we have the same denominators. So that just means we subtract. So our denominator is going to be 8. But wait a minute. 2 minus 3. I can't do that because I'll end up with a negative, and I can't have a negative fraction and a positive number. That wouldn't make any sense. So I'm going to have to borrow. And this gets a little tricky. But I'm going to borrow from here. So I'm going to have to borrow from the 6. So the 6 becomes a 5. And I'm borrowing 1. I'm borrowing 1. So now this is 1 and 2/8. So let's see now. If that's 1 and 2/8, then my new numerator is going to be, well, let's see. I just multiply here. I say 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2 is 10. Do you see how I do that? 8, I do times plus. 8 times 1 is 1 plus 2 makes 10. Another way of doing it is when you borrow 1, you're basically just adding these two numbers together. 8 and 2 makes 10. And that is our new numerator. But that's only when you're borrowing. Okay, so now I have 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3 is 7. If you want to, you can draw lines. 10 take away 3 is 7. And then I have 5 minus 3. Well, that's 2. And there's our answer. So again, when you borrow 1, just add the two numbers together. That's a shortcut way. Okay, here's our last problem. Eight and a half minus 2 2/3. Well, first of all, we need to find a common denominator. That common denominator would be 6. Now we need to find a new numerators. So let's see. 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to put that 3 up here. 1 times 3 is 3. On the bottom, 3 times 2 is 6. So I'll put that 2 up here. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so 6 is our common denominator. And, hey, wait, we got a problem here. 3 minus 4 is a negative number. We can't have that when we have other, when it's a mixed number. We can't have a negative fraction and a positive whole number there. So we're going to have to borrow. So let's see here. I'm going to have to borrow from the 8. So this becomes a 7. And I'm borrowing 1. See that? I'm borrowing 1. So now, the new numerator is just, again, a shortcut way is just to add the 2. 6 and 3 is 9. And why can I do that? Because 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Times plus, or just add the 2. 6 and 3 is 9. So now I subtract. 9, take away 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. And then for my whole numbers here, I have 7, take away 2. And there's our answer. So definitely the most challenging is when you have to borrow.